Welcome everyone to the Three Cynics Gaming Podcast. I'm Clay, here with my two brothers, Mark and Nate. Happy New Year. We hope you had a great holiday. I know we did. We all got all sorts of cool shit. Matter of fact, what'd you get for Christmas, Mark Jr.?
I got a drone.
Duff.
It's so awesome. It is so awesome.
The FAA
I know
is
I'm one of those
after you.
guys, but it is so awesome. I've already registered it and done everything I'm supposed to do with the FAA, but it is awesome.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to say.
Did you strap a gun to it?
No, I did not strap a gun to it, but it does have a little claw on the underneath for like holding stuff. Nice. So I guess I could.
The only thing I can imagine doing with a drone is fucking with people.
Yeah.
So, nah, I'm good.
Why the hell not? Well, what'd you get, Nate? What was your coolest shit?
I got a video card, bro. That's all it needs to be.
That's right. Well, not only that, you got new RAM, a power supply to feed that new hungry video card.
This sweet ass Mega Man amiibo. Yeah, don't me. That's Mega Man, bro.
Disbelief.
It's real. It's right there. I'm looking at it right now.
Man. It's awesome.
I got the sweetest pair of Carhartt suspenders. They're so thick. They're like no suspenders you've seen before. They're like super manly, and they hold up my britches so well. That's crazy. Like not feeling the squeeze of a belt on my hips while I'm being weighed down with like 4 pairs of pliers, 2 screwdrivers, a heavy-ass Fat Max tape measure. It's awesome. All that weight on your shoulders basically feels like nothing as compared to a fucking belt.
That doesn't happen to me. No, it's not a real thing.
Yeah, well, you're just a big dummy.
I carry one knife sometimes. That's about it.
Well, why would you put a knife in your pants?
To put on Mark's drone?
Yes. What do you think that claw is for? Attacking.
Shit.
We got a great show for you this week, listeners.
Full of magic.
Oh, so much holiday magic for the super dry news season that is the holiday break. But that's all right. We got it. We're going to talk about Steam's sweet holiday fuck up and the Verdun Truce and its historical magic, among other things. But right now, we're going to talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider getting its PC release in January, this month, which is pretty sweet. The original article is from Polygon's Owen Good, where they found in the where they found in the Steam listing for Tomb Raider a release date in January, which is awesome. There has been no official announcement, and everybody suspected that it would come early this year, but I think it's still surprising to see it, given how convoluted timed exclusivity is in this latest generation of consoles. It has gotten really weird. I mean, less so with Sony, because Sony just keeps their exclusives to themselves. No, it's ours. Fuck it. You want it? You got to buy our shit, which is smart. But apparently, Microsoft either isn't willing to pay or make whatever sacrifices it takes to get a lifetime exclusive. I'm not sure about that. What do you see in all this, Nate?
As far as exclusives go, I mean, that's more Nintendo's department than Sony's department. But I think it's cool. I'm looking forward to the game, and I'm a fan of the old school Tomb Raider. I picked up the 2013 release on the Steam sale. So no official announcement, but Steam pretty much has their shit together, so I don't imagine they're too wrong.
What about you, Mark? You going to buy yourself some Tomb Raider on PC? Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm an Xbox gamer. So I understand that, but I still own an Xbox, and I will still play my Fallout on it and such because I already own it on that.
Nope, come break it.
But I had an opportunity to buy Tomb Raider, being that I was an Xbox guy, and I chose not to. But then again, well, I mean, the last one I played was on PlayStation 1 or 2. Either way, it was what, like 3, 2 or 3 was the last one I played. I enjoyed them then, but I guess it's lost on me now. Unless it's like you can sell me because it's Batman.
Or is it just $60 lost on you now?
Well, that's fair. That's fair. $60 been lost on me for a long time. So I don't know. I've never been a huge fan since the new release, but then again, I never gave it a chance. So if I can get it for a better price, which I should be able to through Steam, for the 2013 one, then I'll probably go ahead and check that out and see if I like this one. Then I would get that one.
Well, this Rise of the Tomb Raider's got really good scores, meta scores, and whatnot. Not that those are...
Well, the last one got Game of the Year and all kinds of accolades and things. So I still didn't give it a chance, though. I mean, that's on me.
Yeah, but see, the beauty of this PC gaming is you can wait for next year's Steam sale, and it'll be 30 to 40 to 50% off. And instead of paying 60, you pay like 20.
See, and I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is Tomb Raider is the kind of game that you'll wait for a steep discount.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
me too.
I think that this is something Mark's going to learn, and hopefully the industry could learn from, is that not every game is a $60 game. And Steam proves that year in and year out with their annual, winter and summer sales, because there are games that I won't look at for $60. There's games I won't look at for $40. But you give me that bitch for $5 and I'm all over it and having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
cost should be proportionate to how much, they put into it in an enjoyment factor, not just how much time they put into it.
Well, plus, I mean, there's always good reason to price your game high right out of the gate, because there's always early adopters who must have the new hotness. So it's not a bad strategy. You can keep your profit margins high. It's just, with we three, or wait a minute, is it us three? Oh shit! Now I feel dumb.
D'Artagnan.
With us three, there are not a lot of must-have games. There just isn't. It's just the way it is.
Yes,
I think it's a younger person's game.
I don't know about that though, because value has a lot to do with that. If a must-have game were $20 when it came out, it would be much higher on my list than a $60 one, theoretically speaking. I mean, if you release a game, I don't know, I can't even think of one at the top of my head, but like indie developers do that a lot. But if you release a game that's normally a $60 game, like if the new Far Cry comes out and it's $40, I'm giving it a lot more credence than at $60.
And then, yeah, that's a fine point. And then there's situations like I also picked up the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot, and I dropped like 5 hours on it in the first sitting, which I almost never do. Anybody can ask Nate. I can't sit still for more than 20 minutes at a time. And I didn't even know I liked Tomb Raider games. I don't think I played one before that one.
Oh, you missed out on blocky boobs.
But still,
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to pay the $60 for the next Tomb Raider.
No,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just cheap.
no, but if it dropped at 30, you'd consider it. Not that any developer should have to do that to attract people like us, but it's that old adage where I'd rather sell 50 burgers than 10 steaks.
Yeah.
That's a kitchen adage. Sorry, I take it for granted that people know that. Basically, you'd rather sell a lot of something that's a little bit cheaper and make more money on the whole than sell a few of something that's more expensive.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, not turnover rate. It's good, right?
yeah. I mean, Mark, how do you feel about that? I mean, if a game is $20 under, a industry standard, is that something that's more enticing to you?
Yes. Much.
I mean, like, what was that? Dragon's Dogma. Didn't Dragon's Dogma come out and was cheaper than the $60 price fixing?
There was something else I bought that was cheaper too, and I was very happy with it. What was it? Damn.
Price fixing
I don't
in this
remember.
industry annoys the shit out of me. So
And it's just silly. I think games need to launch more expensive than they are. I mean, the cost of a brand new video game hasn't risen in almost 20 years, which is pretty much economically, not viable.
Yeah, but these guys are making tons and tons of money.
It's true.
It's not like
They're
these guys
selling
are
more.
struggling. Well, yeah, but it's not like they're hurting. Isn't it based on supply and demand in the system we work in?
no, not at all.
Sometimes, like
Well, that's fair.
some video game makers will invest so much in the production of a game that the game will, hit the fan and sell 2 million copies, and that studio will go under at 2 million copies because the cost of making a game is, well, the cost of making a game is what you make it, but
Exactly.
it's become,
what
the
you make
standard
it.
has become huge.
Yes and no. I mean, you can go about things in a cheaper way and not reduce the quality of your video game. If Steam has taught us anything, it's that graphics aren't nearly as important as developers like to think they are. Counter-Strike Global Offensive has a huge following. It's got awful graphics, but it's a fun game to play. So I think that developers, at least AAA publishers or developers, are stuck on what they think the public wants and not what the public actually wants.
Well, it was the hardware makers that did that, right? It was Microsoft and Sony that jammed HD down our throats as hard as they fucking could, as soon as they could, with whichever system it was. I believe it was the 360 and the PlayStation 3. That was their biggest selling point, was better graphics, better resolution. Everything's better on this new system. Everything's prettier. And
Well, yes,
and developers have followed that, and
there's games where graphics are incredibly important. I don't want to play The Witcher 3 with Minecraft graphics. I'm not interested in that. That's boring to me. But you can give me like Baldur's Gate, and that's a fantastic game, and I've spent, hundreds of hours in it, and I still enjoy it to this day, and it's not graphically anything.
man, we have digressed.
Nope. I don't even know what
Next
you're talking
story. Next
We
story.
always digress.
The story of the Christmas truce.
about. Christmas.
That's what I said.
Christmas, Clay. Christmas.
Don't derail me. God damn it.
You don't pronounce the T,
This-
it's silent.
The
It's not a
story
gnoll.
of the Christmas Day 1914 truce at the Battle of Verdun is virtually proverbial. It's famous as all get out, and if you're history buffs like we are, you know a great deal about it. Well, there's a small market game, an independent game called Verdun on Steam, completely surrounding that one battle. And apparently, was it the players or the developers that implemented this? It was the developers. They implemented a sort of recreation of the Verdun truce by allowing players to play football matches and have snowball fights rather than blow each other up. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, in the Battle of Verdun, that Christmas is one of the greatest, as far as I'm concerned, greatest achievements in the history of humanity. That these two opposing forces who are killing each other on a daily basis can actually stop and respect one another and exchange gifts and try to communicate. And then knowing the next day they have to go back to killing each other. And that's awesome. And it's great that this game that is based on that is willing to pay homage to that.
I agree. I love the whole Christmas truce deal. I've loved it since the beginning. And I loved even more that the game is willing to take away your murder, death, kill and allow you to go sing some carols and, throw snowballs and go play soccer and, football. I'm sure it's soccer.
Yeah.
Look, I'm American. It's flipping soccer. All right. But I just love the fact that they're willing to do it. It's a fantastic idea.
We need to expandificate your vocabulary.
Agreed.
Well, it's if anybody listening or watching has not experienced what Dan Carlin of Hardcore History has to offer, his series, what's it called?
Countdown to Armageddon.
Blueprint for Armageddon.
No. Blueprint for Armageddon.
Yes, Blueprint for Armageddon. You'll hear, and he will describe to you in an absolutely fascinating way how this singular event shows more humanity, more examples of humanity and humanitarianism than most anything you can point to. It's really inspirational. I got goosebumps.
Yeah, we're all fans of his. He's good. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead with this, Mark. Synonyms for fantastic.
Great. Wonderful. There's tons and tons of them. I like fantastic.
It's got those two really hard T's separated by that S. It's a good word.
I love it.
Okay. Well, if you go to thesaurus.com, there's about 30 synonyms. 46.
There's
sorry.
probably more than that. But
My favorite is capricious. So you should start using that one.
I never even heard it. So there you
go. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about Steam's fuck up. Over the past couple of days, Steam had experienced a couple of issues. Here on an article by Tyler Wilde on PC Gamer, SteamDB speculates the problem was caused by a caching issue. My wife and I both actually experienced this. At one point, I was seeing some German account, and she was seeing a Russian account. Apparently, a lot of information was exposed, but wasn't it something like no purchases could be made because their system was down or something like that?
Well, that, and you only got partial credit card numbers and some purchase history, email addresses, but I mean, you did get telephone numbers and real physical addresses saved within Steam. Essentially, what people were looking at was others online making purchases, or the cached pages through which they would make purchases that were simply redirected in the wrong direction, which is fucking wild. If I'm sure there's a lot of people in the audience who don't know how internet networking works, but every time you log on to Steam Store, the first time you might log on directly, but many times after that, you're actually looking at a page that is sitting in storage on what's called an edge server. So if you think of Valve's servers at the center of the universe, there are some intermediary servers around that, and then on a further orbit are what are called edge servers, which are the servers that service users directly. Everything else within that circle services indirectly. So most of the time, what you're looking at is a page that's not actually from the place you request, or that's not actually on the place you're requesting it. It's just cached in a server near you so that you can get it quickly. And if you refresh a page, it'll refresh its cache. So what a lot of people were looking at was simply an image, a flash of what another user had cached in a nearby server, not what was actually on Valve's servers. It's fucking wild. And they've since released a statement that was one of those non-apologies. They, like any big service, hire a caching service. It's farmed out to other people. And apparently there was a point where they were suffering a DDoS attack, a denial of service attack, and so they shut things down, but their caching service didn't keep up, so things got all fucking mixed up and tossed out in all directions.
Well, it took them longer. I don't recall the exact amount of time, but it took them longer to even acknowledge it than it should have, which is kind of disappointing.
Well, Valve has worked hard to lose goodwill over the last 2 years. I mean, they really have. And I don't understand it. Their service is notoriously, or customer support is notoriously bad. People will wait months to have stolen accounts returned to them. Literally months. Because Steam employs one customer service representative. Literally one. And she's made appearances on AMAs and other such things. And she must have the worst fucking job in the world.
I hope she gets paid a lot.
What about you, Mark? You just got your computer. You experience any of this?
No, I refuse to link my credit card to it. I didn't see any of that. I just buy a little card and put it on there. But no, I didn't see anybody else's account.
Yeah, but
neither did I. I was inactive at the time.
Your personal information would still be available.
No, you were on it. Both of y'all were on last night.
No, this happened. When did this happen, Nate? It was
3 days
the
ago?
28th?
Yeah.
The 27th or the 28th?
2
I
or
don't
3
recall.
days ago, yeah.
I wasn't even on. So,
Well, your
I mean, I don't think
personal.
you should sit there and deny. Why don't you just fix the problem and say we sorry?
Well, they didn't.
And don't turn it. Don't. Well, I mean, I read the article and they're basically telling you, hey, fuck you, nothing bad really happened. Just shut up. And that's kind of shitty.
Well, it is, but they're also kind of right in that at least credit card information didn't get put away. You know, like I'd rather have.
Right.
If you're giving me the option, I'd rather give somebody my address than my credit card number.
Oh, agreed. You can have whatever you want as long as it's not my credit card number.
Yeah, you're sleuthy enough. You can get that shit anyway.
Yeah.
But
well,
I still think they should just come out and say, hey, our bad. Our shit got overrun or whatever. We shut it down. We fixed it. Now it's good.
Well, like I said, it happened to both me and my wife, but we're both good people, so we just closed out without looking at anything because I'm not a shithead.
There's lots and lots of not good people.
yeah,
So,
lots.
Certainly.
Lots.
But I mean,
what are you gonna do with the email address? Hack into it, do some dumb shit? Who cares?
Well, the only way they could put any of that together into a useful, criminal tool is if they had your passwords as well. And nobody got any of that. So
there you go. Not a huge deal. But still kind of a dig move on Steam's part to not say, hey, our bad.
Well, they did, eventually.
well, it's just that digital age thing, man. It's hard. Xbox got hacked, PlayStation got hacked, Home Depot got hacked.
Yeah, Target. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where, I still shop at Home Depot. I'm still going to use Steam. It just sucks.
Gaming needs more safe spaces. I think it's a great idea. There's a wonderful article on Destructoid by Jed Whittaker. Now, I will start right away with... I've had to listen to a guy in a Halo 2 match. Now, I know this goes way back. And he literally sang me the N-word song. Now, I'm not going to drop the N-word because that's very inappropriate and very offensive. But I couldn't agree more with this guy. This guy, or I'm assuming it's a guy, has an LGBT tag on part of his gamer name. And he got harassed, bothered, and obviously he took it so seriously that he had, they needed to write an article about it, and something needed to be said. Now, I couldn't agree more. I am not a parent. Okay, I don't have kids running around doing crazy shit and going online and doing bad things or having to listen to people say bad things. But I know you can set some kind of things, but as a grown man, okay, I should have the ability to be able to do whatever I want without having to somebody sing me the FU song. Or somebody to call me a black gay bitch. I shouldn't have to listen to that. Now, granted, you can go through and mute. But what if you're just a regular person who never wants to listen to that? What's wrong with doing a quote-unquote safe space? I think it's a wonderful idea.
All I can ask of this gentleman, Jed Whittaker, and his ilk is, where the fuck is your skin? Like, seriously, people will be assholes. That is never gonna change. And what's the adage? What is it? anonymity plus audience equals asshole, and that is exactly what the internet provides, whether it's in text communication or voice communication. That anonymity and the audience provided therein will turn people you would never think into complete fuckheads, and it's never gonna stop. You know what you create when you try to create safe spaces? Fucking echo chambers where no one has to hear criticisms. And if you never hear criticisms, you never know what's going wrong, or you might never figure it out because nobody's there to tell you that you're a fuck up. And perhaps when somebody tells you you're a fuck up, you go ahead and kill them with kindness. That's exactly the way I handle gaming trolls and shitheads. Is as soon as they want to spout off at me, I'm like, thanks, bro. I appreciate the criticism. And they might go on and whatnot, and I just keep retorting the same way I always do. And this is the idea of creating little bubbles, or maybe big bubbles, where like-minded people or kind-hearted people can have their, what do you call it, their sunshiny gaming experience. Fucking play an offline game for cereals. You're never going to get that. It's not going to happen.
I see both sides of the argument. I have more tendencies to lean towards Clay's opinion. Everyone is so goddamn sensitive. I don't harass people on the internet. I'm the same as Clay. Kill him with kindness. Hey, I'm a homosexual. I'm not actually, and that's okay. It's okay if you are. It's okay if you're not. It's okay for some 14-year-old kid to say that I am. He's also apparently had sex with my mom, which I didn't know. Just
good information to have.
Like, why is there so much sensitivity about it? I think that... should I say it? Yeah. I think the whole cyberbullying epidemic in general is way blown out of proportion. Yes, it does happen. It shouldn't, but it does. Anonymity breeds shitheads. It just does. When there's no repercussions for your actions, most people are going to act like shitheads.
Yeah.
Jesus,
yeah.
I need a better vocabulary. Like fuckwits. All right? They're going to act like fuckwits because they can.
Because they can't get away with it in normal society. But in the privacy of their game room, yeah. So they're going to.
As a society, have such suppressed emotions because we have to be so worried about offending every person we come across. It's nonsense. You know, I'm sorry that this man experienced what he experienced, and I'm sorry that he got so offended about it, but it's also his right and option to mute that person, to tell that person, hey, go fuck yourself, to ignore them. I don't want to say he chose to get offended because I don't know the exacts of the situation, but in most situations, these are people who are looking to be offended.
And this dude is talking about removing crouch animations from post-kill camera shots so that he doesn't have to suffer the offense of teabagging. Like, really, Holmes? Is your skin really that thin?
Now, look, hold on. Since we're just going to sit here and teabag on this poor guy, let me jump in here, all right? First off, yes, we are too PC of a country. You will never get an argument out of me on that one, okay? We are too PC, and yes, people have thin skins. But what is wrong with sensitive people being able to go with other sensitive people and shut the fuck up somewhere else?
I mean,
I
guess that ain't so bad.
I agree. Somewhere else. But you can't expect to change everybody else's experience because you got offended. That's nonsense.
Well, I mean, I agree, but I should never have to listen to somebody sit there and sing the N-word song. Yeah, you know, it's not offensive to me, but it's offensive to millions of people. And for him to sit there and do that for a 12-minute match, it actually took about 8.5, if I remember correctly.
Well, let me ask you this: could you have muted him?
Oh, most certainly could have muted. That's what I ended
Ta-da!
up doing, but I didn't want to do it in the middle of shooting him in the face.
Well, you were already getting your retribution.
So
All I'm saying is, yes, there should certainly be an option if he wants to go with other like-minded people. But that's not the developer's responsibility. That's not the player's responsibility.
Even if you create one, you're gonna get shitheads.
Oh yeah, it's never gonna work. And this gentleman is talking about asking developers and game makers, whomever, that asking them to create these safe spaces. It's impossible. And I think this article on Destructoid, and don't get me wrong, Jake, I don't think low of you for this, and I don't think low of Destructoid for it, but this entire article is built on fallacy. You can't have these things you want, and you need to... I don't want to be offensive and say grow up or thicken your skin, but for serious, thicken your skin. I stopped playing League of Legends. I stopped playing after being called a nigger faggot one too many times. And that was in the text box. And you can't get rid of the text box in League of Legends. You can shrink it down, but I say you can't get rid of it because you need it. Oftentimes, very valuable things come through there in, somewhere in the middle of the morass of horrible harassment. So you need it, but I can't tolerate it. So guess what? Clay doesn't play League of Legends. Not even that good of a game anyhow. So I'm not saying that you have to be relegated to not playing the games you want to play, but if you love a game enough to play it, if you don't love a game enough to play it through that sort of they are just the smallest annoyances. When somebody starts singing an offensive song in your headset and you have to go through the process of muting them, which in, first-person shooter time is virtually forever. If you love that game enough, you'll go through that process. And you'll create your own little bubble. As I did many times. I couldn't tell you how many times in the thousands of hours we played Call of Duty, I simply muted everybody that wasn't on my team.
At the
or
start?
wasn't in my party. Oh yeah, right away. Everybody's
before they can
muted.
even speak.
I created my own little bubble. And to ask others to do that for you is not only impossible, impractical, it's selfish. Because you're taking away, half the time, I won't say half the time, some of the time, I really enjoy the trolls. Because you can really frustrate the hell out of a troll if you refuse to engage in their vitriol. And that's fun. And I don't want that taken away from me because you're too fucking sensitive.
It's personal responsibility. You have to take it upon
a thing of the past.
You have to take it upon yourself to deal with certain issues. If somebody cuts you off in traffic, are you demanding that person lose their license? Everybody who has ever cut anybody off should lose their license? No. You honk your horn.
How much of a dick were you being?
Well, yeah, you honk your horn,
Yeah.
You flip them off, or you ignore them. Those are the options. Honestly, that you have to.
And if your favorite bar over a matter of time turns into a place where people like to fight and you can't fight and you're afraid to get beat up, guess what? You just don't go back to you find a new fucking favorite bar.
Yeah, I don't. You have to do it yourself. Hearthstone is a good example. Both of you played Hearthstone, right? I assume.
Mm-hmm.
It has an emote system. You can't actually say anything. You pick from 4 or 5 different things that the game automatically says for you. And people still find a way to abuse that to annoy people. So as long as there's shitheads, which there will be shitheads as long as there's people, and when there's no people, the animals will still be shitheads.
The predators will, sure.
There will be these instances. And if anybody is truly offended by them, I'm sorry that they're offended by them. I'm not sorry that it happened. I'm not one of the people who does these. I don't use derogatory terms that way. Or at all. But
No, I'm not an asshole on the internet because I don't feel it necessary. But the fact that others do doesn't make me want to create my own bubble for me and others like me.
Well, I'm okay with creating my own bubble, but I don't expect others to create that bubble for me, which is what this guy is asking for. This guy is saying that everybody should change their enjoyment of the game because he was offended one time.
Well, can't you go play with the kids? Isn't there like a kid mode or something?
I guess it depends on the game. I mean, he's literally talking about being offended to rage quit because people are teabagging him in Call of Duty, and that's just...
I read it, and apparently I was part of the problem because I teabagged in Halo too.
But that shit's hilarious sometimes.
And it was we popularized it, so that's fantastic. I mean, I agree that there should be a safe space, but yeah, the more I read it, the more you need to grow up, dude. I mean, this is life, G.
It's actually funny that you said that, Mark, because Clay, what do I say when somebody teabags me in a game? What is this, Halo 2? That's exactly what I say. Because I'm not offended when somebody teabags me. I'm not offended when somebody on the internet says anything about anything ever. It's the internet.
It just makes you understand their level of maturity. That's all it does.
All right.
Yes, and most of them are 12 to 14-year-olds. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Or they act like it.
Or they act like it, yeah. So what are you going to do?
Look, Jed.
So go play. Look, my phone has kid mode on it. Go play on that or something, dude.
Look, Jed Whittaker. Sorry you were offended, bro. Thicken your skin.
Welcome back, everybody. It'll come as no surprise to you if you read the descriptions around any way we publish this podcast, but we're starting a series of giveaways. We've got 4 weeks worth of games to give away, 8 games in total, I think, 7 or 8, something like that, doesn't matter. We're going to give away probably 1 or 2 games at a time, 1 game per person, and it's really easy to qualify for the giveaway. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you're listening, go to the YouTube channel now and subscribe and leave us a comment and tell us what was your best find during the Steam Winter Sale. Not just the cheapest game you found, not just the best discount you found, but the best gem, I suppose is a good way to put it, that you found during the Steam sale, because as PC gamers, we all love them. So subscribe, leave us a comment, and we'll choose at our discretion. I believe this week, which ones are we giving away, Nate?
Tomb Raider, the 2013 release, and I don't know.
And Dishonored. Yes, sort of like a little classics thing going on. So, also, if you want either one of those games in particular, just leave it in your comment. If it doesn't matter to you, don't. And just so you know, these games will all come in the form of Steam downloads. So if you're not a PC gamer, meh. But if you are, good for you. You're going to get a free game.
Might get
We're going to move on.
It, though.
Yeah, I mean,
careful.
It could happen. We're going to move on to our best finds of the Steam Winter Sale, and therein, Nate's Game Spotlight of the Week. Take it away, Nate.
Well, I've gotten several games off of the Winter Sale. I picked up Counter-Strike Global Offensive finally. Been meaning to for a while.
Gifted me a copy, too, because he so loves me.
I did. Maybe I'll give my other brother one if he ever decides he might want to play it. I also picked up the Tomb Raider 2013 release, and a few other good things. Dishonored for myself. Dying Light, which my brother Clay has recommended in the past. I was a little iffy. $20. Well worth a playthrough. Well worth. And finally, my game spotlight, Pillars of Eternity. It is the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate 2. Similar in that fashion. It's what do you call those? Isometric RPG, top down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not going to blow you away with its graphics. It's not going to, it's not groundbreaking in any sense. It's basically a modernization of that style of game. And it is by Obsidian Entertainment, who did Fallout New Vegas. and published by Paradox Interactive. I don't know much about them. However, it's got a very rich storyline. It has honestly put Fallout on the back shelf for me for right now. I picked it up 3 days ago, and I have 20 hours logged in it. It gives you the option of making your own party, as well as picking up NPCs along the way to fill out your party. So if you want something that's more story-based, you're going to pick up those guys. And if you want something more customized for metagaming, then you can make your own and ignore those factors. Like I said, it's not going to blow you away with its graphics, but its playstyle is great. It's very difficult. It does have a nice aesthetic. It is good to look at.
It does. I'm looking at the Steam store page. Now, these overhead isometric RPGs are lost on me, and I'm kind of jealous that, others get to enjoy them. But yeah, it does have a very pleasing aesthetic to its relatively lackluster graphics, but graphics are nothing compared to art style.
There are some very cool features within the game that make it great. On top of the storyline, you're going to do a lot of reading. It's okay. If you actually read through it all, it's very compelling. One of the great features that I enjoy is that you can actually alter the amount of metagame information you receive within the dialogue. So,
neat.
Yeah, if you don't want things spelled out for you, you can turn it off. And then they'll just give you the dialogue, and you'll have to infer from those clues. If you're someone who likes it to have a little bit spelled out, then you can turn that all the way up, and then basically it'll tell you in parentheses after the dialogue, hey, you need to go to place X. So I thought that was really cool, that if you want to really engross yourself in the story of the game and figure it out from there, then you don't have to look at that kind of stuff. You can turn it off entirely.
Look at this thing. It got 9 out of 10s over and over, 5 out of 5s, and it's got very positive Steam user reviews. That's pretty up there.
It's
nice.
It's really cool. Everyone should check it out. It's on sale in the Steam store right now, I believe, for $17. And in all honesty, well worth it. And had I given it more credence, I would probably pay full price for this game. It's just fantastic. I can't go play it. Try it out.
Is it set up like the old Baldur's Gates?
Yes. It's
like the turn-based combat and all that in combat?
Well, it's not turn-based. Baldur's Gate weren't either. It's more like Dragon Age. It's more like live-action combat with pausing so you can issue commands.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. Okay.
However,
well, I might check it out then.
I will throw this out there. It's also got great user AI. You can customize it pretty well so that you don't even have to interact with your NPCs during combat, and they'll still play very well. Maybe not perfectly, but very well. Also, another thing I'd like to point out about it, and this is kind of, we touched on this last time, it was crowdfunded. It started a campaign in 2012 and raised $4 million.
Nice.
On Kickstarter. They pay homage to their fund backers in the game. Certain ones of them, if they donate enough, they designed NPCs. All of them, for the most part, got like little plaques in the game that you can read where they give a quote from the actual person who donated. And for anyone who doubts, it's made on Unity Engine. It took a lot of things that I doubt. Like Unity, for the most part, is just people who take the Unity engine and asset flip, which is garbage. We've never really touched on it in this podcast, but it's garbage. So it just goes to show you that crowdfunding can work, which I doubt. I'm not one to crowdfund, but maybe I might change my mind a little bit. And I generally don't use anything that uses the Unity engine other than Hearthstone. So it's kind of changed my mind on a couple things. And for $17, everyone should pick it up.
Nice. Good call. Good call. I like the looks of that. I won't play it because I know it'll be wasted on me, but I see what everybody's fascination is. I got some good games too. Like Nate, I got Tomb Raider and Dishonored. I also got some... See, I've been so inundated with story narrative-driven games over the last year and a half that when I saw these next two games, I simply had to have them just for the fun factor. One of them is King's Quest. They rebooted the King's Quest game series, and it's episodic now. I bought the first 2 episodes. I believe I spent $15. And yes, they are narrative driven, but the narrative is hilarious. And the king and all of his bad puns, they're so bad they're funny. And the gameplay, it's just basic puzzle solving, at least in the beginning. I've only played about an hour or 2 of it, but I've watched plenty of gameplay of it, and I simply had to have it just to escape the the dire environments of Dying Light and Fallout and Evolve and all that. Gaming got really, really serious, at least in my Steam library, for quite a while there, and to find something like King's Quest was very refreshing, along with a game made by an Ubisoft subsidiary, which really struck me. The game is called Grow Home, and you're just this little red robot who has to explore this world and extract these gems for energy and grow this big plant. And you use your claws to climb up any surface, and you've got a really short-lived jetpack in case you mess up, and it's just a whole lot of fun, and it has a beautiful aesthetic. Now, neither one of these games are graphical powerhouses. In fact, they're so undemanding that I turned the resolution up to 4K just simply because I could, and it reduces or pretty much eliminates aliasing, and I fucking hate aliasing. And I will lower textures in order to raise anti-aliasing or raise resolution in my games, just so that I don't have to see those video game edges. I know I'm playing a video game when I'm playing a video game, but I don't want it to feel so video gamey, like pixel art graphics. The whole, it's not 8-bit. People want to say it's 8-bit, but 8-bit doesn't describe the graphics. 8-bit describes the complexity of color. But the blocky sort of graphics are completely wasted on me because I can't stand to look at them. So in Grow Home and King's Quest, I got to turn the resolution way up because they aren't demanding, and they're a whole lot of fun. And if you can get Grow Home for cheap, totally worth it. Not a long game. I've listened to Jim Sterling talk about Grow Home. I believe he said it was only like 6 or 7 hours long, but worth every penny. And I got to agree, from what I've played so far, even if I only put another couple of hours into it, it was worth the $8 I paid for it, or whatever it was. It was pretty sweet. I also got Burnout Paradise because I'm not a fan. I used to be a fan of racing games a long time ago, but Burnout Paradise, which is not a new game. Shoot, I think it's like a 2011 game, something like that. It's not really a racing game. It's a crashing game, and it's a lot of fun to play with others. I don't play a lot of games all by myself. Matter of fact, I almost never play games by myself because that doesn't seem like fun. But Burnout Paradise is it's a great game to play with others. I don't know if it has split screen, though. I don't think so. Anyway, I'm all over the place. What'd you pick up, Mark Jr.?
I've only bought one game, and it was Heroes of Might and Magic 3, like HD edition or something. And it was $3.99. I'm very satisfied with that. I'll give you $4 for that game, but it might be more nostalgia than it is anything. But I did love the series, so it was worth $4 to me.
Well, the Steam Winter Sale doesn't end for another few days. You got anything else in mind?
No, but although I might check out the other Heroes of Might and Magic Nate was telling me about, and I'm looking for turn-based RPG that everybody's telling me about.
Shadowrun.
The Shadowrun Hong Kong or whatever. I read a whole bunch about it. It looked fantastic. And I'm just looking, I guess, something to take me back to, middle school and elementary school when, bills didn't exist and stuff.
Yeah, fuck bills.
And I could just sit up here in my little office space and just zone into a damn turn-based RPG, and it would be fantastic. But first, you got to get the time. So,
yeah, that's true.
Can-
Not
I'm
a lot
very
of time when
limited.
there's bills to pay.
No.
Can I just point out that we just all talked about, what we got from Steam and what we enjoy. None of those games are $60.
Very true.
Some of them
Not
are new.
one of them.
Grow Home was put out in February 2015. Pillars of Eternity, I believe, was March 2015. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, both of the King's Quests were put out in 2015, the first 2 episodes anyway.
And Grow Home, which Clay just mentioned, which I'm going to check out because I didn't even know it was a thing that existed. It's $3.99. If I can get 7 or 8 hours of enjoyment out of a game that's $3.99 and it's true
I'll do it
enjoyment,
all day.
yeah, if it's true
All day.
enjoyment, all day.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, for 6 to 8 hours of my time, for me, unless it's like a dedicated weekend, that's like 2-3 days, maybe 4 days of gaming in order to get through that game, and that is so worth $4.
Yeah. So maybe AAA publishers could learn something from that.
Yeah, and maybe Microsoft and Sony could learn that not everything they put on their marketplaces is worth $20 or more.
Oh, yes. And Humble Bundle is a good example of that. I paid $1.50 for the Humble Bundle this week. I've also purchased other Humble Bundles in the past, because I bought it for one game. It had The Last Remnant, which I missed. I enjoyed it when it first came out. And for $1, it's well worth another playthrough. So maybe, I don't know, because I'll gladly pay $60 for Fallout 4. Hell, I paid $120. I'll gladly pay $60 for a Skyrim. But I don't know how AAA publishers would do it, but there should be a varying scale.
AAA publishers aren't willing to change the payment model for fear that they could change it in a bad way. And then they'll be stuck in it, otherwise incurring, people's fucking ire. There's a lot of ire out there, as Jed Whittaker can attest to. I'm sorry, Jed. I'm picking on you.
Well,
Yeah, be nice to that poor guy.
the irony in this is that if Jed Whittaker ever does actually happen to listen to this podcast, which I doubt, but if he does, he'll probably get offended at the fact that we talk shit about him.
We didn't talk shit. We offered him very blunt criticism.
It's true.
It's not talking shit if it's true.
I love you, Jed, but it's cool.
All right.
What else do we got?
Wonderful. I hope everybody finds something sweet on the Steam sale. If you haven't found anything yet, then maybe you got too many games in your Steam library already. Maybe you should catch up on what you got. I think,
and those suggestions, that'd be what's up, because we might find something from all the listeners in your comments.
Absolutely, yes. Next story we got, I added it to the document just for a chuckle. This is, as I think I mentioned it earlier no, Nate, you mentioned it. Fucking personal responsibility has gone out the window. At least people are trying to push it out the window. What was it? One of the big stories over the last few weeks was some guy trying to sue Bethesda over a game addiction and how he lost his job and his wife. And this story from a local Fox affiliate or Fox News affiliate, the website is myfoxboston.com. There's no author credited, so whoever wrote it, credits to you. But the title is 911 Dispatcher Demoted After Holding Emergency Calls to Play Video Games. And it says right in here, quote, investigators say Morris left a caller, an emergency caller, he continues, on hold for 40 minutes during a hit and run, end quote. What?
That's awesome.
This guy was playing on his handheld device, which they didn't specify. I'm sure, most of the policemen there wouldn't know how to identify which one it was anyway. But he's sitting there at his desk or cubicle or however their arrangement there is in Palm Beach County, Florida, because of course this happened in Florida, with his DS or whatever in hand while somebody is being robbed at gunpoint or being hit with a car.
Yeah. Well, he technically said it was a hit and run, so dude was already gone. I mean, not much you can do about it. Might as well finish your level on Mario.
Oh.
Finish your level on Mario.
I mean,
All right.
I've actually got a.
All right. It's just asinine, man. I don't know. I don't know what kind of people most people are, but when I go to work, I just go to work. If I'm not working, shit takes forever. But then again, I've never attempted to bring my handheld video game to work. So
Well,
maybe I
I
should
mean,
try
you got
it.
your phone in your pocket, but you resist playing games on that all day long.
Yeah, no, I don't play. No, I'm just there to work. I mean, I guess I'm slacker. I don't know,
No.
dude. I just want to work so I can get the fucking day over with.
I've actually got a.
And I'm be all paranoid half the time that I'm on my phone. Boss man's gonna walk around the corner while I'm standing there on my phone.
I've actually got a pretty good, somewhat related story. Well, first of all, let me just say that whoever this guy is, you're a fuckwit, dude.
Charles M. Morris, employee of
gaming
the
as much
sheriff's
as-
office since 2004.
Yeah, I love gaming just as much as everybody else. Obviously, we make a gaming podcast, but get your shit together, Morris. Come on, bro. And he shouldn't be demoted. He should be fired because that's neglect.
Yeah, that's gross negligence.
That's borderline criminal. However, in a similar note, one day when I was doing security work, I won't say where, but it was at a college. We were running a fire drill. It was late at night, and one of the kids came down with his laptop and was in the middle of a raid on World of Warcraft. And in that period of time, I was playing World of Warcraft as well. And the kid, if he left the dorm like he was supposed to, he was going to lose his internet connection, and he was in a raid. But long story short, I ended up taking his laptop and finishing the raid for him while he was standing outside.
That's retarded.
It's fantastic.
No, I hate games like that. Like, Sebastian will tell me all the time. My son, his name is Sebastian. He's
We already
17
covered
years
that
old.
in an earlier episode.
He will, I'll need the trash to go out, or the dishes to be done, or the laundry to be changed out. And I'll walk into his room and tell him as much, and he'll be like, but I'm in game. Like, don't give a fuck. Don't care. Like,
It's
when
not a viable excuse.
No, when I was playing League of Legends, if there was some important thing going on behind me, I just got up out of my chair. I don't give a fuck that this game absolutely requires that I be there. No game can demand my attention that way. That's so silly. Absolutely silly.
But in his defense, the trash will still be there in 10 minutes when the match is over.
Have you ever played League of Legends?
Yes, I hate it.
Fucking games will go on for an hour at a time.
All MOBAs are, to me, is two different teams running back and forth waiting for one person to make a mistake.
Absolutely,
It's
yes, it is.
god-awful boring to me. I realize that there's a huge following for League of Legends, and if you people get enjoyment out of it, good for you. I can't do it. I get bored. I'm the guy who makes the mistake just because I'm bored.
Oh, yeah. Don't get us wrong. I wish I loved all games. Then I would just be absolutely inundated with wonderful things to play. But we can't all like the same things. I would make for a boring fucking world. And we're all happy you find joy in the games you find joy in.
I have skipped school.
I don't
to
think
raid
I ever
before,
played any of them.
No,
So-
you gotta kind of be into PC. Or,
No, there's
like,
MOBAs on 360. I thought there were a couple.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't play any. I don't even know what the fuck y'all are talking about. So
Well, that's probably for the best.
Mark,
I mean, it's cool with me.
all MOBAs are like picture Diablo, except like 2 teams of 3 and you're fighting over an objective.
Oh, so it's WoW? Only
No.
you're like capture the flag or something?
No, not even close. I don't even think I'm going to try to continue this explanation at this point.
No.
Oh,
The
okay.
LOL
All right, perfect.
conversation is over. I think we got one more thing we're going to get to. We might be over time. Who knows? We're just carrying on and on. But Nate and I, even though Mark wants to defy us on this, we still want to talk about Dying Light.
Fuck you guys. I don't want to talk about that shit. Parkour with zombies.
It's actually good.
Yeah, tell him about it.
That's what Clay said too. I don't believe
Mark,
you.
the parkour is fluid. It's not.
Can I play it on your Steam shit? I'll try.
You can.
If I could play it on your Steam shit.
Clay and I could both share our libraries with you. You could play it off either one. But the parkour is fluid. It's not forced. It's not like, oh, you have to climb this wall to get this ammo. No.
Can I be gay and use a controller?
I assume Clay does.
Absolutely, you can use a controller.
Oh,
I do all the time.
I'm down.
The thing about the game is, it's not that it is parkour. It's how those elements integrate the obstacles in the environment into your traversal of the environment, which is something almost no games do. Obstacles in most game environments are simply obstacles. In Dying Light, they are obstacles to be overcome. And it's fun, except when you play with Nate, because he plays it like an MMO.
Efficiency is fun, Clay.
Nope.
Efficiency is fun.
All right, listeners, my youngest brother
that.
will walk into an area like an MMO, like he would play an MMO, collect every single mission he can get and go out and do them all at once, and then finally come back to the wherever the hell he got them from. So
I'm 1,000% with
and
Nate
you know
on
what?
that.
At that point, you're not involved in what the mission entails. You're just marking off the checklist. What do I got to do next?
am.
What do I got to do next?
I know that I got to get some antizin for that bitch over there. I know that bitch's kid ran away. I know that we need some algae so I can make some goddamn med kits. I know all about it. I'm just saying, if I'm going to Kmart, okay, let's backtrack. I'd never go to Kmart. The place is awful. If I'm going to Walmart
at least,
and I need, I don't know, computer paper and a pillow and new boots, I'm not going to make 3 trips to Walmart. I'm going to make 1 trip to Walmart. I'm going to get all those things.
But we're not talking about wasting valuable real-life time. We're talking about wasting...
Yes, we are talking about real life time.
This is video game time. It's leisure time. It doesn't
It's
count.
still real life. It counts. I don't get a lot of it, so it counts.
But the amount of time that we get to play games in real life is limited. So efficiency is fun.
Yes, but no. Wait a minute. What did you first... Tell me, how many hours, either exactly or roughly, did it take you to get through Fallout 4?
A lot. Like maybe 100.
The first playthrough I did 90.
You got lots of fucking time. And to relegate those... Many of those quests are very interesting. To relegate them to a checklist does not do them service.
But I can tell you all about most of them. I can't tell you about the individual ones, but as I'm doing them, I can tell you all about them, Clay.
That sort of game playing doesn't make sense to me. And
I know,
and you're going to cut that game short for you, because I did that entire game. I shit you not, 1 mission at a time. And
it's not cutting it short, Clay.
It took me 53 hours. You're going to be done with that game in like 25 hours.
No, because you're not even paying attention. Because I do everything at night, Clay. So while you're turning in 1 mission at a time, I spend half of my time running from hordes of zombies. Just hauling ass, so I don't die.
Because you're a fool. You don't even know how to play the game the right way.
Because it makes it more challenging. It makes it more entertaining to me. So half the time, I can't even get to that area without freaking the fuck out and going 10 miles the wrong direction.
Yeah, see? You
Also,
like Dying Light is me like Fallout 4. You don't even know how to do it right.
No, you're just doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
But one of my favorite parts of the game, other than the fluidity of the parkour, which is fantastic, it's just there. It doesn't feel like it's forced upon you. It's not clunking up the game, is the actual interaction with the environment. The environment is an obstacle and an ally. And it blends it well so that it adds an entirely different element to a game that I'm not sure I've entirely experienced before.
Yeah, and we understand users. Users,
you're all users. Get off the drugs.
We understand that this is old news. This game came out in January of 2015. It's pretty much a year old now. But it's $20 on Steam. I'm looking at the page. And it is so worth more than $20. And the reason, essentially why we brought this up, is because of what's coming in the Enhanced Edition. If you were to pay $20.39 on Steam for Dying Light right now, when the Enhanced Edition comes, you get it for free. And that's awesome.
Yeah, and they're adding, it's not like it's just like getting slightly better. They're adding a whole bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm. A lot of features.
I'm not spending the money. Y'all are crazy as balls.
What? I missed it. What?
I said you guys are crazy as balls. I'm not spending $30 on that.
It's $20.39.
And it's well worth
it. $20 too much.
Oh, then just play it from my library. It's not like we don't share libraries.
I said the same
That's what
thing,
I'm saying.
bro.
I'll check it out.
And I enjoy it.
That's what I'm saying. I'll check it out on y'all's library. If it's worth it, I will definitely buy it.
Check it out on our what?
Your library?
It's a library.
Hey, don't be talking shit.
I said the same thing, Mark. I said that this game is whatever, parkour, whatever. And then Clay did a spotlight on it, and then it was $20. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let me check it out. Well worth it. Even though it's Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers sucks.
Oh, and dude, I'm reading this article. Our reference article for this bit is by Andy Chalk of PC Gamer. The Enhanced Edition comes with the legendary levels and legendary skill trees. Listen to this, quote, "You'll begin earning experience to use in a new 250-level legendary skill tree, which will enable an even greater degree of character customization." End quote. 250-level skill tree? Yeah. What does the skill tree look like now, Nate? What would you say is in one of those skill trees? Maybe 30 or 40 things?
Yeah, well, no. I mean, not really. You have to be a certain level. I'd say there's probably about 20, 25 in each skill tree.
Yeah, and it looks like they're increasing that tenfold or 10 times. That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, if you Google this, Dying Light also had a troubled release on PC. Thank you, Warner Brothers.
Oh, did it? I wasn't around for the release. So anybody who suffered that, I'm sorry, guys. If that ruined your experience, well, I can't take anything away from that. That stinks.
Incidentally, if Warner Brothers wants to pay me money to suck up to them, they can totally do it.
Right. This episode, not sponsored by Warner Brothers.
Suck it, Batman.
Yeah, I think we've come to our end here, guys. I'm pretty sure we're long overdue. We'll find out after edits. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find us?
Facebook, Twitter.
That's it? That's all you got to say, Mark?
That's all I got. What else you want from me? You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. I don't know. I don't have any other social medias up and running. So what do you want me to tell you?
You can find us also on Google Plus. You can find us.
Oh, that's true.
On...
Google Plus.
No, okay, so you can also find us on Stitcher and Podcast Addict and iTunes and all these other cool podcast sites. I don't know what a site is, but things you should check out.
Absolutely. And if you're listening to us on the audio version, don't forget to check out the YouTube, subscribe, and comment to win a free copy, a free Steam copy of either Dishonored or Tomb Raider. We'll see you all again next week.
Woo! Giveaways.
Be easy.